Mac. We got Mak Ralston joining me back here for Sports and Hip Hop with DJ Mad Max. The Horror Shows edition in October. The Mac is back. Return of the Mac, as everyone knows the song. Mark Morrison. We got.
Hmm.
I should have had that loaded up for the intro here, but he's
Return of
back.
the Mac. My
Yeah.
boss used to play that whenever I would work. I used to work at the movie theater, and every time I'd come in, he'd play Return of the Mac. So I know it like the back of my hand now.
Oh, that's hilarious. And you're not at the movie theater anymore? You're not there?
I'm not.
Because you were there
Yeah,
last
I
year when
was.
we talked.
Yeah, I was there for like 3 years. I loved working there, but then like just life got busy, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take a step back from the theater, work on some other stuff. So maybe I'll go back again. Maybe next year I'll be there again. Who
Yeah.
knows?
I think your time to get your work actually on the screens in those movie theaters. I think that that's what
Hey,
you're ready for.
I would love to come back in that capacity too. That'd be even cooler, maybe.
It would, but man, welcome back. How's everything going, man? How's your October season so far? I know you've been doing all the countdowns, especially like with the
Oh
Spirit
yeah.
animatronics. How's everything going? What's your feel on the October season for 2023?
Honestly, this has been a really good year. Just in general, I feel like, and specifically with this Halloween season's been really great for me, both like personally and for YouTube. Like you said, the Spirit Halloween stuff and Halloween City, honestly, like Party City, they've been getting really popular with their animatronics and their props and stuff. And then also just like personally, I've been able to watch a lot of horror movies and like get in the vibe of it. So like that's how I really get into the feels of Halloween. Like hanging out with friends, watching like a scary movie. I've been able to do that. So now I feel like I'm in it. I'm in it to win it.
Because I remember when we talked about it last year, it took you a while to get into the horror movie craze. Because I remember we talked about AMC Fear Fest, you getting into Child's Play 2 and
Yeah.
Halloween 2 and all that. So, what were kind of some of the ones you got introduced to from the past that you may have not seen before? Were there any like classics that you haven't seen that you saw this year?
Oh yeah. So one that I've wanted to watch for a long time was Silver Bullet, which is
Okay,
the Stephen King
Corey Haim.
werewolf. Yes, Corey Haim. And I had never seen it before. I didn't really know the plot, and then I found out it was based on a book. So I actually read the book, um, loved it, watched the movie and loved it. So that's like one that I'm gonna rewatch like every year now. I'm trying to think of other ones that I there are a couple that I've yet to watch that I'm planning to, like the VHS series. I don't
Okay,
know if you
yeah.
watched
I,
those.
I I've seen the first one and that was enough. I'm not
Oh,
into it.
really?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
just not into those. I don't know what it is. And Fear
It
Fest
seems
is
like a certain you have to have a certain kind of eclectic taste for
yeah,
those.
I don't know what it is. I saw the first one. I just wasn't having it. I was like, this is terrible. I know the Fear Fest is going to be showing I think 94 and 899 tonight. I saw on there. I think they're
Really?
doing a
Yeah, because
double
there's the new
feature.
one.
Yeah, I'm not even going to watch it. I'll throw something on
Mm,
Netflix or get one of the DVDs out.
there you
Yeah, I'm not
go.
into those. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other one that I watched that I really liked was The Mist, which is another Stephen
Stephen
King
King.
thing. Um, I had watched The Fog for many years, and I always got them confused, like The Fog, The Mist, like what's the difference? Apparently, there's a big difference, and I really enjoyed seeing that one. So those have been the new ones. I've been rewatching a lot of the old like Universal monster movies, like from the 40s. Those
Classics.
are fun to watch. Those have all like the Dracula and Frankenstein's monster. So that's putting me in the spirit of things. So I'm happy about it.
No, I'm happy, man, and I enjoyed that walkthrough that you gave the other day because, man, I've been so like crazy this year. I haven't really got into the Halloween spirit. I feel like I'm just starting to get into it, like right now, like this
Mm,
week, as like the October season hit us because I've been so focused on like life things. But I went and made
sure.
sure to go check out the recent videos and everything that you had going this year, and just you
Mm-hmm.
reviewing all the screams, the Scream 6, I think you did. Then you did the
Mm-hmm.
predictions for Scream 7. I did see that earlier this year
Yeah.
and then recently with the I think the hour long walkthrough through all the stores. And man,
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep saying it. They need to put you in charge of Spirit because it still isn't to where we want it yet. It's not that
Yeah, it's
old Spencer's gift feeling when you walk in there.
I
It's
know.
still like a Toys R Us.
It's yeah, and I feel like um what I might have mentioned this last year. when you talk to me, but I feel like they could make the back of the store the creepy part
Yeah,
and like have even like a disclaimer for parents like, hey, it's gonna get real if you walk back here. Like it might be gory or it might be too creepy, like be cautious. But I feel like there are two different types of fans and they only right now are catering to one. Because there are a lot of young people that are
yeah,
really into the Halloween thing, and I started when I was young, so I get it. But they should offer something for the more mature fans too.
exactly. Well, apparently we were mature when back in 2007 or 2008 when we started going to the spirits and we saw all these creepy, gory props. We were mature at that. That didn't bother us. I think now we live
No,
in sensitive times now, so I think that's probably why they
yeah,
probably have toned it down a little bit. But yeah,
right.
it's insane. And just before we get further into the animatronics this year, I want to congratulate you
Sure.
on 10 years. You were doing this for
Thank
10
you.
years now, man. Congratulations. It's a milestone
It's
decade.
it's crazy. When I rewatch like my old content, I'm like, why did I pick up the way that I did? Like some of these videos are not that great, but I guess it's just there weren't a ton of Halloween channels at the time. Like it's such a when you really think about it, it's such a niche thing. But then also at the same time, it's a really big industry. So there was bound to be people that were gonna get successful off of it. So I'm just grateful because I'm not just doing it because it's working for me. I'm doing it because I love the holiday. I love horror. It's just fun for me. It
Yeah,
doesn't feel like I'm working.
no, if it's what makes you happy at the end of the day. And I told you last year, you and James A. Janice, the top two right there. I don't want anyone to get insulted when I say it. It's just that I haven't checked out other
Yeah.
channels. I'm sure there's other great channels out there,
Oh
no doubt
yeah.
about it. There's probably hundreds of them. I just haven't really had the time to go and dissect, but I just know you
Sure.
two just based off of my searches and what I do look for when
Yeah.
I'm on there for horror. But the animatronics this year, it's just the same old stuff you see at Spirit. I think the Leatherface were new. The best to me out of Leatherfaces was the Techie one. I think that was the best
The
one.
one at
Halloween
Party
City.
City.
And
Yeah,
I think,
Halloween City.
yeah, yep. Though that's the best one to me. The other two, the Jemmy one looks good, but it moves terribly. The
Yeah, it
the
was a
Spirit
bad
one,
mech.
yeah, the Spirit one was just like, I mean,
Yeah, it was like middle of the road. It
yeah,
was growing on me a little bit, but I still think the Halloween City one has him beat. It is really weird though that we got three in 1 year. I
yeah,
don't know how that happened. Like I feel like they don't cross check what other stores are gonna have. They just are like, "Yep, we're doing it."
yeah.
It's just it's really weird, and it's like some stuff isn't thought out well. Like they don't look at the movie list because I don't know, but to me, when a movie comes out, it makes me more enticed to buy merchandise from the movie. And so like the Reagan that I have in my room that they had last year should have come out this year because of all the Exorcist hype, or like Jigsaw or something for the new Saw movie. And it's like Leatherface. I mean, the game came out, so I guess that was lucky timing for them, but like it was a weird strategy.
It was. There's a lot of Leatherface this year, and
Oh yeah.
it's strange because, like you said, there's no movie out. I don't know if there's plans for a new one. I honestly don't want to see after what we got. What was it last year? That
Oh, that was
horrible.
awful. I didn't even review that. I was planning to review it, and I watched it. I said, honestly, it would be so negative. I can't even talk about it. It would just make me mad.
That thing
Oh
was
my
just an
god.
atrocity. Like, is that what we're doing? Is that how they're making that's hard. It never happened. Hopefully that I want a true because I know they did like a Halloween with it, forget all the other sequels. I want
Mm-hmm.
there to be a direct sequel to the first one. I want with a great studio involved and someone that actually loves the film because
Oh
you know
yeah.
how I felt about Halloween Ends. I hated it, couldn't stand it.
Yeah.
Did your opinion change on that like over the year at all, or you kind of just
It
stayed the
did.
same?
It did because when I first saw it, I think we both agreed that we didn't like it.
Yeah.
But I have a new respect for it. I still think it is aggravating because of the marketing. Like they set it up where it was like Laurie and Michael in this big, showdown. And it really isn't about Michael that much. It's now about the Corey character and about kind of the transference of evil. It was an interesting idea, and I respect that it took a bold swing, but I don't know if it was meant for the last of the Halloween trilogy.
No.
They that maybe that should have been a middle movie or like a spin-off movie. I don't know. and that makes me trepidatious for the new Exorcist movie because it's the same people. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if you
You
saw it. I
haven't, because
haven't
I was
seen
going
it
to
yet.
ask you that because I know The Exorcist and The Shining are your two favorite horror films. So I was like,
Yeah,
maybe you're in line to go see this Exorcist Believer, but
yeah.
it's the same people that were
It's
involved
the
with the
same
Halloweens.
people, and a lot of the reviews have been coming out already, and it doesn't sound good.
No,
I'm gonna go see it. I was gonna see it last night, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna wait till the discount Tuesday night to go see it. I don't even know if I want to pay full price. I respect Danny McBride and David Gordon Green and their work, but to me, Halloween's a bit different than The Exorcist. Like Halloween, there's been so many sequels, and more or less you can do the same thing with Michael Myers walking around and stuff. But The Exorcist is like such a perfect little story. Like, don't there's nothing more to be said,
no. I
really.
mean, I get that they brought the mother back from the first one. I think that is kind of a cool idea because it's
Yeah,
like
that's
all
that's
these
neat.
years later. It's like, wow. And people didn't like The Exorcist 2. I know that wasn't like a well
Right.
critically acclaimed film. 3 was, I thought 3 was a great film. And
I
there
never
was,
saw Exorcist 3.
yeah, I remember you said that on last year. You
That's
told
one
me
that's
about that.
another one that I want to watch this year.
Yeah, 3
Exorcist
was
3 is
decent. 3 was actually pretty deep. The rest of them, like Last Exorcisms and all that stuff, yeah, I don't have time for that. Nothing will be the first one to me.
Oh yeah. And it's weird too because like The Exorcist is like my favorite movie ever, but I don't really like the Exorcist movies, like exorcism movies in general because they more or less anything that they do, the original Exorcist already did.
Exactly.
Like you're not doing anything different.
Yeah.
Um so it's like, well, the only movie I can't really praise the movie too much because it wasn't very good, but the Pope's Exorcist that came out earlier this year,
Okay, I heard of it. I did not see it
yeah,
though.
it's not a great movie, but the one thing I thought that was interesting in it is Russell Crowe plays the Exorcist character, and he's so charismatic, and he like is telling jokes, and he's like the focal point. And it's like usually these exorcism movies, the Exorcist is very like dour or like serious, so that was different. But then by the end, it just turns completely like into a farce. It's like a big joke.
Yeah, that sounds like a disaster. I don't know if I'll see that. But this Exorcist
Yeah,
Believer, uh, maybe they'll make us in the believers when we go. I don't think so, based
maybe.
off of the reviews, but I'm
Yeah,
not
I mean,
buying it.
I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. I mean, like Saw 10 just came out. I don't know if you saw that.
I did
I,
not
I'm a
see
big
that.
I'm a big Saw fan, and so it had big shoes to fill, and I thought it filled them really well. I was
Wow.
very pleased in it. So maybe that's like giving me optimism, like, oh, the Saw was good, maybe The Exorcist will be good, but mm, we'll see.
Yeah, I hope so for your case because I know that's your favorite movie. Exorcist, I have a great respect for the first one because it's such an
Yeah.
iconic. It pushed the boundaries. There's nothing like it in any other horror film at all.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm hoping it does for your case. But I mean, the animatronics, when we get back to those, because you brought up the Exorcist one, the Leatherfaces,
Hmm.
we had the 3 this year, but we still have the nonsense with Jemmy. Jemmy hasn't upgraded the Halloween one. I saw they
No.
re-released it with the same sound, and I think you called it the Nokia ringtone last year. So
Yeah, it's the
the
Nokia
Freddy's still the
ringtone
same.
Myers.
Jason's still the same. But you know what's crazy when I look at the Pennywise animatronic is that they do such a good job with that one. But you know what's
Yeah.
wrong with that to me? I want the Tim Curry version, the 90s version with
Yeah.
Pennywise. Put that effort into that one.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was Morbid made the 90s Pennywise a few years ago. And I liked it. It wasn't amazing, but you knew that it was the Tim Curry one.
Yeah.
But it's kind of sad that really the new Pennywise took over.
Yeah, I don't like
Um,
that. I mean, I get it. Like, I think it's Bill Skarsgård. I think he
yeah,
played him. I think he did a good job with it in his own
he
way,
did.
100%. I just prefer Tim because I'm such a purist when it comes to horror. I think Tim
Yeah.
Curry, that's his character. I mean,
Yeah, he's so good. And one of the things that Tim Curry did well is like when you see the Bill Skarsgård Pennywise, right away you're like, "Oh, that's creepy." But Tim Curry looks like a nice clown, and then he's evil. And I like that you can't tell right away. Like he was supposed to entice the kids to seem innocent. When you look at the new one right away, you're like, oh, I'm not going by that guy.
Yeah.
Kind of defeats the
Exactly.
purpose of the innocent clown thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did a good job. I'd be fine if they had both options, but it leans too much to the new It movies in
It
terms of
does.
merch.
Yeah, no, it does. I don't know. As far as the upcoming films, we're going to be limited here, but with the actors and writer strike, the writer strike just reached a deal, but the actor strike that's still
Right.
going on. So we're going to be limited to as far as when that can come to a resolution here, because I think I did see a couple movies. I think there's a new Final Destination 6 on the way. There
Oh,
were,
is it really?
yeah, I heard about that. Drag Me to Hell 2. There were a couple films that I heard that are, I
Oh,
guess, uh, another Conjuring, which I'm not surprised about. I think The Last Rites or something. Yeah, I think we have a couple of those. Scream
that's
7.
about
I,
right.
I mean, I keep hearing things that it's gonna be by Radio Silence again. I think that's who's making it. I think it's gonna be by the same guys, or they're turning it over. Then people are saying that
Yeah,
Jenna Ortega is not returning because she's too big for it.
I've heard weird stuff about Scream 7. Well, I heard that Chris Landon was going to be taking over. I interviewed him a few years ago. He was a cool dude. He's the guy that did the Happy Death Day movies, and he did
Okay,
the movie
yeah,
Freaky with Vince Vaughn. I like those movies. And then I heard it was going to take place at Christmas.
yeah, I did hear that. I mean,
I'm like, okay. And then yeah, I heard about Jenna Ortega not coming back. I'm like, why? It's weird.
I don't
There's
get
a
why
point
there's going to be
they
a
just keep it.
turnover in the director, because with the two guys, because they did a great job with it. The fans loved it. It brought out
Right.
record breaking box office
Yeah.
sales for them. So I don't know why we're changing direct. This
Right.
may,
It doesn't make sense.
I hope not, but this might be the end
Yeah.
if that's what they're doing.
Yeah. They'll end it and then in like 5 years they'll reboot it again or something. They can't kill these franchises. They'll keep like I know Halloween Ends was the end. They're already like selling the rights for
Yeah,
television now. It's it'll just keep going.
I did see the A24. I think was interested. I saw on an
And
article
that's
some.
weird to me
Yeah,
because like A24 is like the artsy kind of studio, like more like highbrow and it's like you're going to do a Halloween movie with a guy in a mask.
yeah.
I don't know.
Hereditary. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just I don't know what it's gonna take. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. I did bring this up the other day because I was thinking about it. I I
Mhm.
would love to see a new Nightmare on Elm Street, but
Yeah.
is Robert Englund gonna return? That's the thing. I don't think he's going to.
Yeah, I think he said he's done, which is
Yeah.
really sad. It's weird because we've seen like new Leatherface stuff, Ghostface, Chucky, Michael, all those guys, but Freddy and Jason have really been on the sidelines. And Jason kind of makes sense. There was a whole like legal
Lawsuit.
dispute.
I heard about that.
Yeah, but Freddy, I don't think there was anything. I think he's just sitting there.
Yeah.
It's just kind of the question of if Robert England's going to do it because it's Robert Englund. I don't know
Yeah.
what. I mean, the guy who was in the remake, I think, was a good Freddy. That
Jackie
movie
Earl
was just
Haley.
so bad. Yeah, Jackie Earl. Yeah, he was good, but the movie was just poorly written, and I think it just failed fundamentally. But I mean, they could get him, or I think uh Robert Englund even recommended a couple actors to be Freddy. I think one of
Yeah,
them
he
was like
said
Kevin
Kevin
Bacon.
Bacon. Yeah, I mean, give me a break.
I
I
don't
mean,
see it, but
yeah.
I don't know.
He's mailing that one in, boy. I'll tell you, he really does not want to come back and play Freddy. And I think he did the last like thing he did as Freddy was like a cameo on, was it the Goldbergs? Did you see that?
Yeah, it was like the Goldbergs on TV. It was a
Yeah,
weird thing. But you come back for that, but you wouldn't come back for another
for
movie?
for an own movie. I guess he's signing enough autographs where he doesn't need to come back. I guess I
Yeah,
don't know.
true.
That's probably what it is. I mean, because I thought about it, I said we need a new Freddy. I think because AMC showed on Tuesday the other day all the Nightmare on Elm Streets, and it was just
Yeah.
refreshing to go back and watch all of them and how creative they are, and just
Oh yeah, they're really creative and
yeah,
fun,
I
those
like those.
movies.
So yeah, and I said that we need a new one here, but we need Robert Englund. But I don't know if he's
Yeah.
gonna. That's the question right there. We need a Sinister 3 too, because I remember I brought up to you. Like, did you get to see Sinister yet?
I don't I'm pretty sure I've seen the first one, but I think I need a rewatch.
Yeah. Yeah,
But you're saying there's gonna be a Sinister 3, or you
the,
want to see a
I want
Sinister
to
3?
see a Sinister 3
Okay.
because they left it at 2. I get 2 was kind of like because I think Scott Derrickson didn't really have
Oh yeah,
much
that's right. That's who did
involvement.
that.
Yeah, he didn't have much to do with 2, so I think we need 3. But with him back on board, there's supposed to be some
Yeah,
like kind of insidious, sinister crossover too. So I don't know. I think that would be interesting to bring back.
that would be different.
It
Bring
would
the
be.
Conjuring in while you're at it.
Yeah, why not?
Just get them all in there.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, and then throw Saw in there since you have the affiliation over there. Just throw everything in
Yeah.
there.
They
Unbelievable.
should just honestly, like I said, I was watching the old monster movies of it's like Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman, and they fight and they like cross over. I'm like, just do that with all these other guys. You did Freddy and Jason, throw in Michael Myers and Leatherface. Like it doesn't even have to be good. People will
No,
still watch it, you know,
exactly.
just to have them on screen together and fighting, or I don't know what they would do, team up.
Exactly. That would be interesting because Freddy vs. Jason was on, I think, yesterday on Fear Fest. Yeah, I've been glued to Fear Fest this year. So yeah, Freddy vs. Jason. I think the one thing that I don't like about I mean, I get it, the plot has some obvious holes there. It's a little cheesy, but no
Sure.
Kane Hodder was just a big time disappointment for me.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking because Kane Hodder was supposed to do it and then they
Yeah,
changed it like at the last minute from what I remember. And it's like, I mean, the guy who plays Jason as an intimidating presence, I don't have a problem with him. It's just a choice to not include Kane because having them together as their respective characters is what was going to make it work.
yeah.
Weird choice.
Yeah, I did not like that, and it's going on to, of course, it's like a cult hit in a way because people like it, two
Yeah.
slashers right there. But it would be interesting to see what kind of spin-off because I think we were supposed to get like a Freddy versus Jason versus Ash from Evil Dead, and Evil Dead
Yeah.
Rise came out this year, so
Yeah.
I
Apparently, they're going to keep doing Evil Dead movies every year too. That's what I heard.
I wasn't a
They're going to
big
keep doing
fan of
them.
the Evil Dead Rise. I just wasn't a. It was just too gory, just too blood. Like it gets to the point where
Yeah,
it's like, are we really trying to get some actual scares here and have a plot, or are you just trying to just make it as
yeah,
bloody as
gross me out.
possible?
I mean, Evil Dead's known for having kind of like the gross stuff. I thought it was a well enough done movie. Like I could rewatch it, but like I didn't latch to any of the characters. Like I couldn't tell you their names or anything. Like Ash, everyone knows Ash, or even some of the side characters. I couldn't tell you any of the new characters. Just kind of
No,
whatever.
no.
And that's unfortunate because these are the new people that are gonna supposed to carry this forward. It's like I don't care.
Yeah, I don't either. I have no time for it. The Evil Dead. It is interesting because we had the game last year with that Evil Dead. The game came out,
Yeah.
and so we were getting all these horror games to come out. I wonder what the next one's good. What would you like to see for a video game? Because I know you're. I think you when you played it, you said that you're kind of trash at the. I haven't gotten the
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw game, but I saw your
Okay.
video where you said that you were kind of trash at it or
Yeah,
something.
I'm not good at it. I don't love it. My friends and I have argued about it because some of them really enjoy it. I think out of like the Friday the 13th, Evil Dead, and the Texas Chainsaw, I think the Evil Dead had the most playability
Mm,
in terms of like there was more to do. Um, but yeah, I mean it's fine. If I could pick like another game, there's a part of me that wants Halloween just to have Michael Myers, but I feel like it would more or less be like the Friday the 13th game. I would like to see a Scream game
mm,
because part of the gimmick of the game would be it's like a murder mystery and
like a
someone
clue.
can like yeah, they can switch in and out of the costume and kill people. Like something that mixes it up instead of just stabbing people and trying to escape.
Yeah.
Like make it more of like you vote on who you think Ghostface is. Like it's like that you ever played like the werewolf game
No, I
or
haven't.
not like it's not a video game like a card game or like Mafia. It'd be like
Okay.
that but Scream.
I get what you're saying now.
Yeah, like
It
a
would be
mystery.
interesting.
Yeah, it'd be different because you could do Chucky or like you could do Michael Myers, but it's just going to be basically what these games are. The player
Exactly.
versus player thing.
Yeah. And speaking of Chucky, you brought it up. You gave the reviews for the first 2 seasons. I know you like the
Mm-hmm.
the series. What are your thoughts after season 3, episode 1?
I'm very interested in it. It made me really like the spoiler alert, the guy who ends up dying.
Yeah, I know Chucky kills him, and
Yeah,
no,
I wasn't expecting that. It just happens out. He's just like boom. I'm like, whoa, what?
yeah.
But it was a good episode. I think I really like the show because it keeps kind of mixing it up. Like right when you think, oh, how many times is Chucky gonna kill people? Oh, he's in the White House now. That's different. And like seeing how that will play out. Like, is he? My here's my prediction for the show. I want to see if I'm right. He's gonna have some kind of presidential announcement, like on like every TV where the president announces something. It's gonna be Chucky, and he's gonna do the Ade du Dembala, and it's gonna like have all of the Chucky dolls or like toys come alive or something. I don't know.
Wow. Imagine if it I could see that coming true. If it does, they're gonna have to hire you as like one of the writers. I'm
I
telling
mean, yeah. I mean, Don Mancini's done a good job with the series, so I'm excited to see what he's coming up with. But like Chucky, like the first season was like the school and the kids, and then it was the church, and so it got like a little bigger in scale. Now we're at the country. So like I want to see how this plays out. I don't know how you get bigger than that.
no,
Chucky in space? I don't know.
yeah, maybe like Leprechaun, how that was Jason
Oh,
in space and all that stuff.
right.
Crazy. Yeah. So I mean, I enjoyed it. I think there was some corniness in season two to me, like the exorcism scene. Like, did we really need
Yeah.
that? There was some kind of like with season two, but I think it
Yeah.
ended okay. I think the way that they did the mother in the end was horrible. And then I think the
Yeah.
sister's gone. Tiffany took the sister or whatever. So we're still waiting to see how that's going to play out in the next
Right.
couple episodes this season.
Mm-hmm. The last episode, the Christmas one, it
Mhm.
felt like a shoehorned in. Like there
Yeah,
were some plot developments in that should have been over like 2 or 3 episodes, and they squeezed it into one. It was like
exactly.
okay, and the Christmas thing was a little odd too.
Yeah, I don't like
Like
anything
I love
horror.
Christmas, but like
Yeah, anything. The only thing like horror Christmassy that I like is Black Christmas. Anything with that, like,
right,
stay away from. I don't want anything when you start like overlapping Halloween and Christmas, and yeah, I
yeah,
don't
it,
like
it
that.
gets convoluted.
Yeah, I just don't like it. It's like, why?
Yeah, and the Chucky show comes out usually around Halloween, so they drop a Christmas episode. It's like, all right, now I gotta adjust for this vibe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
Weird.
all about the vibe.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
all about the vibe.
Yeah, so we're gonna be seeing what happens. I mean, they're gonna have to go to the White House and go take
Hmm.
care of Chucky. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, as far as like the animatronics this year, Home Depot was a dud. I went into my local Home Depot recently, and it was just I wasn't impressed because usually they're actually decent. This
Yeah,
year it was a dud. I think Lowe's
they
did
did.
better.
Yeah, they didn't put the robot in Home Depot, which was a shock. I don't know if you saw the robot
Uh,
prop,
No,
but
I know you're big into the robot props because you want to make one of
yeah,
your own with some saw hands. I heard.
yeah. Well, yeah, I would love to do to make more robot props. I feel like there's not enough of like the weird sci-fi thing going on with Halloween. But they made this robot prop. It's called THD 3000, and I got it. It's so cool. And they didn't put it in the stores. I don't get the deal. It's like better than all the other stuff, and they didn't put it in. And there's
Yeah.
some stupid stuff they put in the store, like the little like 4 foot clown that has
Oh
like a
yeah, I
hand.
did see that.
Yeah, like why is that in, but the robot isn't? Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. Yeah, Home Depot, they really struck out big time this year, and they're gonna have to make up for it next year because I know you're big into the aliens. I think didn't they have the alien there like 2 years ago?
They did have the alien. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like that Home Depot offers different stuff. Like they had like a swamp guy and like the boogeyman guy that kind of looked like the Bagul from
From Sinister. Yeah,
Sinister.
it did.
Yeah, so they had a couple of different themes, which was nice. But yeah, it wasn't. I don't know if it was as strong as previous years,
No,
except for the robot. I thought the robot was cool, but they didn't even have it in the store, so I can't
no.
even count that.
Were you able to get it online? Did you purchase it there?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably still available because no one knows it exists because they didn't
No.
have it in the store. So yeah, bummer.
It is a bummer this year. Halloween City, I think, like you said, I think that's the go-to Halloween Party City. I
Yeah.
think those are the two this year. Lowe's did pretty well, but I mean,
Yeah, this was Lowe's best year, I think. in
Yeah.
terms of just all the different options. The animatronics, they have the cool little like pathway, like the leather
Markers.
face markers. Yeah. So
The
those are
Haunted
fun.
Mansion.
Yeah, the Haunted Mansion's big there. It's weird that they haven't done like a life size. Well, they did the Grave Watcher dude, but like he's not. Where's the ghosts? Like
Exactly.
that's what everyone wants. And with the movie coming out, it was like prime time.
And they didn't do it. I didn't see the
But
movie. Did you get to see it?
unfortunately,
Oh
it was
boy.
it was not good.
Because I
Um,
grew up with we grew up with the I saw the Eddie Murphy one in theaters when I
oh
was like
yeah.
3 or 4. Would you say that the Eddie Murphy one's still better?
Oh yeah. Like the
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy one isn't an amazing movie or anything, but at least it like delivers on like being an actual movie. This one, like, I don't know. I didn't really get a sense of the characters, and it kind of like it showed the haunted mansion a lot, but it also didn't. It was weird. And then I'm not liking these third acts in these movies where everything's so epic and big. Like there's like people flying around in like a vortex. I'm like, this is not the haunted mansion. Like, what are you doing? Weird, weird choices.
As soon as I saw Owen Wilson and Danny DeVito in the trailer, I said we have a big problem here because I'm not a
Yeah,
fan of Owen Wilson and Danny DeVito. I mean, he's a comedy skit. Did we really need him?
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they turned it into like comedy hour, and there are a couple shots at the beginning of like the creepy house and like the portraits on the wall, and I'm like, oh, okay, I see what. Oh wait, no, Danny DeVito's now like at the bar or something. Okay, you lost me.
Yeah, I won't be watching that. It just doesn't interest me. I want something that's true to the old story. Like when you go to the Disney event, like I don't know if
Yeah.
you've seen, I do have this, like it was passed down from someone in my family. They have the vinyl of the Haunted
Oh,
Mansion.
right.
So
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about with the actual booklet. You play the record and it
Yeah, and it
plays the
tells the
actual
little stories of the ghosts and everything.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I want in for
Yeah,
form of a movie. Or if you're gonna do a movie, base it right like just within that. Or you know what I mean?
within
Something like
that.
I just can't I don't know what they're doing here. Disney
I don't either.
they gotta put some more effort into the Haunted Mansion. I'm telling
They
you.
do. There's a big fan base just for that ride. Like they're Disney fans, but then they're just Haunted Mansion fans. And what's weird
Exactly.
is they announced like a couple years ago, I don't know if you know who Guillermo del Toro is.
Yeah, he's done he kind of
Yeah,
does like
like
those
the
weird films, like the weird
yeah, he
ones.
did
Yeah.
like Shape of Water, but then he did that like gothic one, Crimson Peak or something.
Yeah. I think
I
he did
haven't
Don't
seen
Be
enough
Afraid of the
to
Dark. Didn't he do that? The remake for
see.
Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. He might have done that.
He probably did. But apparently he was going to do a Haunted Mansion movie. And like I haven't seen the movie to know, but that Crimson Peaks movie looks like a Haunted Mansion-ish movie. So he might have got it better than Disney did.
I wouldn't be surprised because trust me, I trust your opinion. So yeah, I'm probably better off not even seeing that Haunted Mansion. I
Yeah. I mean
terrible.
it's got some spooky vibes in it. Like it would be a movie you could put on your TV and like mute it and just like have it for like a background thing at a
For like a
party.
Halloween party. Yeah.
Yeah. And be like, oh look, there's a ghost. All right,
Yeah.
just do whatever you want.
I've really been like when I think about horror movies, I do think people should go back because people in our generation, they kind of don't. Well, horror fans do, but if you're someone that's just kind of like a natural and just watches movies during October, I really do think there's
Oh
some
yeah.
gems in the '60s and even
Oh
before
yeah.
that, like what you said, Universal Monsters. But I mean, House on Haunted Hill, all these the Vincent Price films, those are just classics. You know,
Yeah.
it's Psycho, Night of Living Dead. That
Oh
I
yeah.
like. That's eerie to me. Like the Carnival of Souls. I don't know if you've seen that, but
I haven't seen Carnival of Souls. I've heard a lot about it though. Or
yeah,
like White Zombie. I have seen White Zombie. Or like Night of Living Dead. I've seen Psycho. I just rewatched. I love that movie to death. Yeah, there's so many great older movies, and it's sad. Like I'll meet some horror fans, and I'll ask, "What's your favorite horror movies?" And they'll give me like The Conjuring, or like like movies that are like contemporary. And I'm like, "Have you watched anything like older than you?"
yeah, exactly.
Because there are some great movies. You just got to find them.
People nowadays they only consume what what's put in front of them,
Yeah.
unfortunately. The Conjuring is a big one. I'm sure Terrifiers, they like all that
Yeah.
nonsense. I know you're
Yeah.
squeamish. We talked about it last year, but did you get the chance to see Terrifier 2?
I didn't see Terrifier 2. I am planning to though. I saw an ad on Facebook or something, and it said Saw 10 is deemed gorier than Terrifier 2. And I saw Saw 10. It made me uncomfortable, but I didn't like barf. And I'm like, there's no way. And I had looked up some of the scenes from Terrifier 2 after there was like hype about how gross it is. And I watched one, and yeah, it was definitely worse.
Yeah.
Like cutting people's faces off and just like really messed up stuff. And it's like I'll watch it because like I want to support some of the more indie filmmakers and stuff, but that's just not my bag usually. I prefer like a well-written atmospheric movie than just gore and body parts flying everywhere.
I'm not into that. That's kind of, if you think about it, it's what Rob Zombie created. He kind of, I think we talked about it
Yeah.
last year. It's his horror movie culture just completely took over. Everyone just making ramping up the gore effect to just the highest
Yeah.
degree, and it's terrible.
Yeah, I rewatched a couple of Rob Zombie movies and I do like some of them.
I like House of a Thousand Corpses. I think
Yeah,
that's
that
a
trilogy is the one that stands out in general. But like I watched his Halloween 2 and I'm
uh,
like all of the atmosphere and like the creepiness of Michael Myers is just changed in favor of like blood and like just stabbing as hard and fast as you can. It's like that wasn't the point. You know,
no.
that's not to me that's not really scary. That's just like, well, obviously you wouldn't want to be stabbed to death. Course. Like I'm not really scared by the movie.
No, his
So,
Halloweens were horrible, and then the fact that Fear Fest and they're gonna shove it down our throats constantly.
oh yeah,
I
they
do
replay
not
them a
like.
lot.
No, yeah, anything after. I mean, I would even, as much as people dog Resurrection, and I get it's a terrible film. I prefer that over the Rob Zombies.
Oh yeah.
I prefer that over the Halloween Ends. Are you kidding me?
I'll even say it was weird. I rewatched H2O, which I always loved H2O, and I rewatched it. I'm like, this isn't as good as I remember it
No,
was.
and that I feel, and we're on the same thinking pattern because I said that like last year and the year before is that I thought
Same.
Halloween H2 when I was younger, I loved H2O, but
Right.
I noticed
Yeah.
as I've gotten older, it's just
Hmm.
lame. Like it's just
Yeah. It's trying to be Scream, but it's not. It's
yeah.
Halloween.
It even has the same soundtrack in Scream because they're both
Yeah.
under Dimension, and you can hear the Scream soundtrack in
Mhm.
the movie.
Yeah, it's weird. That's an odd movie. That was an odd time for horror movies too, because like Bride of Chucky feels kind of like Scream too,
It
because Scream
does.
was so big. I mean, understandably, it's a great movie, but I don't know. Like, try to stick to what you know. Halloween is Halloween. Don't make it something that it isn't.
No, and they do that time and time again.
Mhm.
So, what is your top props this year? Because I know you still have. I think you still have like the crawler, the zombie crawler from
Yeah.
2007, and you brought
Oh
out
yeah.
all the props that you collected over the years. But so, what's your top prop this year?
Of new ones,
Hmm.
well, I have like three that I really loved. There was the robot from
The
Home
robot from
Depot that
Home
I talked
Depot.
about. I got there's one, this is another one that was online only. It's called Death Stalker. It's from Spirit, but it wasn't in the stores. It's like this weird, it like has a giant mouth and like claws. And then also it's behind me, it's probably off to the side there, but it's the Martian from Mars Attacks
Okay.
that's at Spirit. So those three I'd say were probably my favorite.
Yeah. Have you thought about grabbing the techie Leatherface? Have you thought about it?
I I have, yeah. I want one of those leather faces. I've just been sidetracked with like doing the haunted house stuff and like trying to buy stuff for that. I'm like, I didn't even save any money to do that. So I'm gonna hope and pray that there's gonna be a couple on sale at the end of the year that I can snag. But it's so popular that who knows what will be left.
Who knows? But It's so
Yeah.
weird with animatronics because you think about it, should you put it like in your collectible room or should you put it away for Halloween? And if you think about it,
Yeah.
if you have it in your room year round, you're like, what's this thing doing in my room?
Yeah. I've woken up sometimes at night and been like, oh, it's just, Michael Myers
Yeah.
standing in my room. That's just normal.
Yeah. It's creepy having it. What if you ever think of what if that thing goes off when I thought that's why probably why I haven't gotten one before
Yeah.
is what if it goes off when you're sleeping?
I've thought about it. I try to make sure they're always unplugged just
Yeah.
in case. But even then, sometimes freak stuff happens. I remember this kind of a funny story. It's not fully Halloweeny. It's actually Christmas because we used to have this dancing Santa in our house. I remember it was like at night one time, and I was sitting out in the living room by the Santa, and it starts going like I'm listening to it, and it starts talking. And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go down to 7-Eleven or whatever. I'm listening. I'm like, it connected to the radio, like to a trucker's radio, and the
What?
trucker was talking through the Santa, like like CB radio. They had the same frequency or something,
Yeah.
and the lips were moving, and the Santa was talking. It was so weird.
How does that even happen? To your
I have no idea.
animatronic?
Yes, it was an animatronic Santa, and it was talking at like a trucker because it was some guy driving by.
No,
It
that's
freaked
I've
me
never
out.
heard about that. How does a guy in a truck connect with his he probably had like a CB radio. How did he
Yeah.
connect to an animatronic? That's
Yeah, an
insane.
animatronic Santa. I'm glad it happened though, because I love that story because it's just so stupid and funny. But it was creepy to me when as a kid, I'm like, Mom, Dad, the Santa's talking.
Was it
Yeah, I think they
moving too,
understood
or
it.
was it just
I,
talking?
it might have been moving because I can't remember. Maybe it was just talking. It might have just been talking, but sometimes the lips would just automatically move when there's like sound coming through it. So it was creepy. Regardless, it was creepy.
It is creepy. I just can't believe that someone that would be able to because you hear stories people tap into your radio, people tap into
Yeah,
your TV, but an animatronic, it's like
right.
wow,
That's next level.
that is next level. Yeah, but with the animatronics, yeah, I don't think I could do that. You're right. Because what if someone connects? What if someone connects to your Reagan? You're gonna sleep at night?
Oh, yeah, I'm putting her outside.
Yeah,
That's that's the only good news about having all this creepy stuff in my room is like if there was ever like a home break-in, they would scream and alert me. I would
yeah,
wake up,
yeah.
or they would just leave.
Yeah, exactly. The people, the demented people that would break into your house would like these people are even more demented than me. Look
Yeah,
at that.
yeah, they're even worse. Fine, keep it. I'm
Yeah,
out.
it's your security. See, it's your security
Hmm.
guards.
Built-in security.
Yeah, no, you need that, man. I'm telling you.
Hmm.
And you're out in Florida, but I noticed like I followed your journey. You went to Halloween Horror Nights this year. I saw that the Stranger
I
Things
did.
house. I've been wanting to get down there for like I remember when they did the Halloween house, they did
Oh
the House of
yeah.
a Thousand Corpses house, Texas Chainsaw. I'm from because I'm from the tri-state,
Yeah.
Connecticut and Queens. I want to get down to Florida to one of the Halloween Horror
You
Nights, but you
should.
went this year.
I did. Hit me up whenever you go. I'd love to go with you
Yeah,
because
let's
it's
do
I
it,
can give
man.
you the
Yeah,
tour
yeah. Maybe this next year we could do
next
it.
year.
Yeah,
I don't know. Who knows what the future holds for what licenses or properties they have this year. Gosh, I just went. I can't even remember. Oh, they had Chucky. They had yeah, like you said, Stranger Things, Last of Us. Um, I really like some of the non even movie ones. They had one that was like Yetis in at a
okay.
campsite. That one was great. And then they had one with the devil in it. I love that one. They always are. They're always topping what they've done before. Very impressive.
I'm hoping they bring back some of the old ones, like the Halloween house. I think
I
they've done
really
the
hope so.
Exorcist too. I think they've done that.
They have. Well, I went in the Exorcist Believer one. They had that one this year, but it's weird because that house is basically a trailer for the movie. So I
Wow.
walked through it with no context. These girls are popping out at me, and I'm like, "Who are you? I haven't seen your movie yet. I have no idea who you are." So it's weird. I guess after I see the movie this week, then I can understand what I had seen.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking about going to see it, and plus it's October. I want to get into the spirit. I want to go see a
Yeah,
nice horror movie. I mean, we saw Scream, but Scream was in that was in
yeah,
March. It was in March.
yeah.
I don't want to see that in March. I want to. I told you why they did it that way because they didn't want to get blown out by Halloween ends. That's why they've been putting them
Right.
in like the
But now
January.
Halloween's over, so now they could put it. I
They
guess this
could.
year they had Five Nights at Freddy's. I guess that could be the competition.
Yeah,
Maybe it was The Exorcist.
yeah, probably The Exorcist. But even then, Scream is such a monster franchise, and it just
Oh
keeps
yeah,
going
people would
up
show up.
and up and up and up. It's to the point where why are you even afraid? You're probably going to be the box office
Right,
winner.
you are the poll. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're gonna. But really, if it, like people who are diehard fans, they're just gonna see all of them.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like I saw Saw. It didn't take away from me seeing The Exorcist or
No,
seeing any of these other ones.
no. You're exactly right. People are going to go to see it no matter what. If you're a horror fan, you'll
Yeah,
get in one lane for Scream and you'll get in the other one for Saw. That's just how it happens.
yeah.
You know what I wanted to bring up to you? Because I read about it on Twitter, and I remember being a kid when this happened, and you probably remember it really well. And it came across my Twitter because apparently people are saying it's happening again. I really don't know how true that is. There's a lot of propaganda that goes on Twitter and X. The clown
Sure.
sightings. Do you remember the clown sightings in like
Yeah, from like
2016?
2016 or
Yeah,
whatever.
you remember that?
They're coming back.
That's what
They're.
someone said on Twitter, and I saw the article there, and it just brought me back to when I think I was a senior in high school, and I just
I
remember
remember it.
because my school got like a letter of concern where people were like,
Oh,
it was like a threat,
not the clowns.
and yeah, did you have like an issue where your school was? Was there anything that happened?
I remember that there was like one sighting of a clown, but like it wasn't like multiple sightings, and I think it was like just a kid in a Halloween mask as a joke. But it was creepy, and even though like I don't want anyone to get like hurt, God forbid, but if it's just a prank and like people are just scaring each other, I don't see the harm in it. I think it's fun,
Yeah,
like it's
I
like
don't
those
know.
clown pranks on YouTube.
Yeah, there were. The stories I remember I was reading, there were some that were like vicious and just the people trying to
Oh,
kidnap people, and
yeah,
then
now that's messed up. That's
yeah,
scary.
people like scaring. I think there was this report about a woman on her phone and a clown chasing her like on her like front yard or something. I remember hearing a
Oh
story
God.
about that. Yeah. I don't know if a lot of these were pranks or they were actual clown. I have no
Like
idea, but
messed
that
up
was a
people.
strange time.
That was a weird time to be alive.
It was. No one thinks about it anymore.
No, I mean it just kind of yeah that happened. I mean maybe it'll be another craze. Maybe we're gonna see zombies walking down the block.
Yeah, I
Who
think that's
knows?
coming anyway. I mean, with the pandemic that happened and
Yeah,
just all the crazy stuff that's happened in the world, we're gonna see something soon. I'm telling you, it's
yeah, something
unbelievable.
weird's gonna go down.
Yeah,
Like they joke, there's something in the water. There's some weird stuff going on.
there is, and aliens too, because we've been seeing
Yeah,
aliens have been confirmed. You're a big alien guy, so
I am. Well, it's funny, like aliens and robots are one of my favorite things, but I feel like coming up, I think those two characters are going to be popular for Halloween because all these alien sightings and the government, like, is are they real? Are they not real? And then robots, you have all this AI and all the talks about AI.
it's taken
I don't know,
over.
like the more it's in the popular culture, the more it reflects in like media, in the costumes, in the movies. So I don't know. Maybe we'll be seeing more of it.
We will be, and when we talk about animatronics and AI and everything,
Yeah.
big movie you wanted to see at the beginning of this year when we last started did our interview last October.
Yeah.
Megan, were you
Oh yeah.
impressed?
I was disappointed with Megan. It's so sad. I
I
was
didn't
so
get to see your
excited.
review on it, so I didn't know
Yeah.
what you thought.
It was just the thing that I like about creepy robots is that they're like they have no emotion and
Mm,
they're just cold and they just do whatever they're programmed to do. That to me is the creepy part. Like you hear about these stories of like people in factories where the robot is like, just doing its thing and like you fall into it, it just keeps doing it. It doesn't know
like
and they
Child's
die.
Play 2 with the robotic machine. It gets the guy's eyes with the
Yeah,
good
the
guy
guy's
doll.
eyes.
Yeah.
It's like it's not even trying to be evil. It's just doing what it's supposed to do. It's a machine. But in Megan, she like becomes like a little creepy evil girl. like to the point where it's like if it was like a little girl in a mask or a robot, it wouldn't have made a difference, and it lost the appeal of being a robot to me. It was a fun movie. I mean, it had some good moments, and there were a couple decent kills and stuff in it, but overall, I don't know. It wasn't what I wanted.
No, I did see it, wasn't impressed, wasn't surprised because I just saw it and
Yeah.
I'm just like, is this what we're doing? Anything that has like a doll involved, it's just you've taken from Chucky. It's just it's
Yeah.
obvious. That's
Yeah.
how I look at it.
Yeah, that really is what they did. They basically said, let's make female Chucky.
Exactly.
You know,
And
and
it
like Chucky, I think, and Megan had like beef on Twitter or something where they're like
I
tweeting back and forth with
I
each
did
other. I'm like, I
remember
never
that.
thought I'd see the day with dolls tweeting at each other.
Oh man. Unbelievable. How was your haunt last year? Because you did the crematorium and you got the
I
trail
did.
this year. You're doing a haunt trail.
Yeah, it's this year is a hayride. Um, I'll actually be going to work on it tonight a little bit to do like some final touches. We open next week. Last year, for being the last year in my like garage setting, I was really like I was proud of the work. Like I thought it turned out pretty good. Um, it had its limitations. I didn't have like physical wooden walls or like things I could paint. It was just like tarps and stuff. But for doing it on the cheap and on the fly, I thought it turned out good. I had like a freezer room with like body bags hanging in there, and they, would brush through it. We got some people really good, scared a lot of people. So that to me is a win in my book.
Yeah, it was a success. See, and you're building. That's the whole point about what you do with your craft is that you're building. Now you got the hayride this year. Now, what are you looking to conduct with the hayride? Because I've heard stories about my family, people go on hayrides where you have like actual horror movie characters that are like chasing you around on the hayride. What's going
Yeah,
to be the premise of your hayride?
I would love to do that down the road. For this year, well, the hayride itself goes out and it's like grass is on like the left, and then there's a lake on the right. And so I'm like, how could I implement the lake a part of the story or something? So it's actually sea monsters. Um, so it's like fishermen, but they're fishmen.
Wow,
So they're
that's
like Creature
interesting.
from the Black Lagoon wearing like raincoats and stuff walking around out there. So I thought that was different. I'm gonna try it out. It's the first year of doing a hayride for me, so this is like new territory. Like you said, it's like trying something different and trying to perfect the craft. So to me, that was a challenge and something different for me to do.
Is this on the farm? Is this on a farm too? Because I remember you got an
This, yeah,
offer to do a haunt on a farm.
yeah. So it's called DK Farms and Gardens, which is in Largo, which is like probably like 25 minutes from Tampa. It's a cool place. So it's not just me doing a haunt. There are actually two other attractions going on there. Um, and then there's also like going to be food trucks and just like a show and different stuff to make it feel like a whole event rather than just like one thing.
I mean, and you also announced your new anthology. You got another one on the way too.
Well, actually, so this one, the first one's an anthology book. The second one, this one's like one standalone book. I actually have them because if you look, that's the anthology and this is the new book. So you can see it's not like a bunch of stories, it's just one
It's
single
just
one.
one here. Is one of those the Comeuffins there, or those are the new books that you
The
have?
so the Comeuffins, yeah, the Comeuffins is the thick one.
Okay,
So
yeah.
that's
There we go.
Comeuffins.
Yeah, plug yourself in there, man, so
Yeah.
people watching can go to get this off Amazon.
And then this one's called Marantha. So this
Yeah,
one's one
that's the one
standalone
that I
story.
saw, which you did a little promo on the TV screen.
Yeah. So this new one is like a religious cult type of story, but it's also got a good sense of humor. I like to think of it as like if you ever seen National Lampoon's Vacation,
Okay, I've
it's
seen
like
that.
it's like Vacation mixed with Children of the Corn.
Oh wow, yeah, that's
Like
interesting.
that's the vibe of it. Yeah.
And there was a remake of Children of the Corn. There's two remakes now because
There's two
I only
remakes. I
like the
haven't
1980s one. That's the only one I like, the 84 one.
Yeah, I don't know. Like again, that's like such a limited thing to do. I don't know what more needed to be said about the Children of the Corn.
Yeah,
I saw people like they literally like paid people to go see the new Children of the Corn, and they said it was bad.
Yeah.
So that's not a good sign at all. I might watch it if I'm like bored on a day and want to like, just watch something for Halloween, something new. Um, I don't know though. That's
Yeah,
sketchy.
it does. And
It's
Fear
called
Fest, it gets
Bloodlines.
Bloodline. Is that that's Hellraiser Bloodlines
No,
or
that's Children of the Corn Bloodlines. But I think there is
okay, that's what it's called.
Hellraiser. Yeah, that's the new Children of the
That's the
Corn
new one. I
movie.
thought it was just called Children of the Corn, so it's Children of the Corn Bloodlines. Okay.
Well, I think there was a new Children of the Corn, just called Children of the Corn, and then there's
Then
Children of the Corn Bloodline. It's just so confusing.
yeah, I just watched the first one, the original
Yeah, there
1980s
you
one.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen Children of the Corn 2 and 3. I don't like
Okay.
them. I like the
No.
first one.
Okay.
Yeah,
I read the story too. The short story is great.
by Stephen King.
Yeah, by Stephen King. I don't remember what book. I think that's in Night Shift. That's like his first anthology book.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what's on the way here as far as upcoming horror films, but we need more creativity in here. We need more. If there's going to be sequels, no remakes, just a straight sequel. Like I said, I think Sinister would be interesting. A new Nightmare on Elm Street would be interesting. But let's
Oh
see what
yeah.
some other new ideas come about because
Yeah.
Smile came out this year. We had Barbarian. We had a couple.
Barbarian. The
Uh,
Menu. I love The Menu.
yeah, I
Might
did
have
see
talked about
that.
that last year.
Yeah, you told me.
Knock at the Cabin was probably maybe my favorite movie of this year. One of them. So there's a lot. It's just unfortunate that for some reason a lot of these um, horror movies they get stuck in the same ruts. Like I saw a trailer for this movie called Night Swim or
I
something.
did see that
Did you see
on
that?
Twitter, I think somewhere.
Yeah. So it's like this girl goes swimming in the pool at night, hence the name. And I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, is like the pool like gonna suck her in or something? And there's just like there's like a zombie guy at the bottom of the pool. And I'm like,
That's not
that's
really
it?
creative.
Yeah. I was waiting for I thought it was gonna like suck her into another dimension or I don't know. There's so many possibilities with a killer pool, and it just is a guy at the bottom. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It
Uh,
lost my interest by the end there.
I'm not interested. I could tell
Yeah.
you right now. It's
That was produced by James Wan because that was Atomic Monster. That's his studio. And so I'm like, I expect more from him.
especially being a big Saw guy.
Yeah.
I'm really if like I like the Saws, but
Mhm.
it gets to the point where they're just so redundant. It's just how many traps are we gonna? And they're
Right.
creative in their own ways, but it's just over and over and over. I like
Yeah.
the first two Saws. Those are the ones
Yeah.
I
If you
like
like the
watching.
first two, definitely see the new one because, in my opinion, the first two and then this new one are the best three that
Okay,
they've
yeah,
done.
then I gotta see it. Yeah, the first two Saws, there was just nothing like them. I
Yeah.
mean, the opening scene with the second one with the fly trap and
The Venus flytrap.
yeah, that was crazy. The first one, of course, is what set it off. It's
Oh
classic.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'll
It
have
is
to see
classic.
10 because then you get all these other ones, Jigsaw, the one. Then there's the one with Chris Rock. Is Jigsaw
Yeah.
the one with Chris?
Spiral.
Yeah, that's yes, that one. I
It
just
just
can't.
got too
Yeah,
convoluted for its own good.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, the new one takes place in between one and two. So it's like
okay,
right, yeah.
yeah, I'm
So
definitely gonna have to see this.
yeah, it like assumes that like Amanda is like a part of it now. And it assumes about like John having like cancer and that he's gonna die. But like it you don't have to see the other ones to get it. Like it's its own story. Because
Okay, so you
if
could
you
just
like
go.
started watching Saw 4 or something, you'd be like, what's going on? You
Yeah.
have to like watch those other ones. This new one you don't have to.
No. Okay. Yeah. No. I'm definitely gonna have to see this, and it's gonna be interesting from my standpoint, and
Yeah.
especially knowing that you really don't have to see the other ones because I've seen I think up to six. I think I've gotten up to six with the saws at this point.
Yeah.
But besides that,
Okay.
yeah, I haven't been real too deep in it. I'm more of a
Yeah.
Scream guy. I
Hmm.
know you liked Scream Six. I had my issues with it. I think the killers in it were very lame. I just
Yeah. It was the mystery element kind of suffered, but they elevate like it's always like a give and take with those. Besides like the first couple, which are great.
Yeah,
But like recently, it's like, is it more of a good mystery or is it more of like a good slasher movie? And six was a good slasher movie. Like it had the chase sequences in there. It utilized New York City. So like that part, it was more thrilling to watch, but it suffered in terms of the mystery.
it did. Yeah, I didn't like that the detective and his kids, and it was
Yeah,
connected to the other kill. I mean, give me a break. You know, it just gets to the
yeah.
point where it does too much. And I didn't like the opening to Scream Six either. I didn't like it how it was that
Oh,
guy who was
really?
like a student or whatever, and he kills the girl in the alley.
Yeah,
I was like, what is this? Are we really revealing that this guy like five? Because I thought he was going to be the killer throughout the whole thing when I first saw it.
right. And then
I
he
was,
dies like right away.
yeah, watching Jason Takes Manhattan. It's just.
Yeah, that part was funny. I like that they showed Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah, I did too. It was a nice homage to that. But
Yeah,
you know, I'll be curious to see what happens with Scream 7. But like I said, I think now that you're changing over the directors, and I don't know, maybe it
right.
could,
Who knows what's gonna happen?
we don't know what's going to happen. Is Nev Campbell going to return? We don't know.
Right. Now let me ask you, since you said you're a big Scream fan, do you have an opinion on the Stu is alive theory?
This is tough because you know what? I mean, it makes sense, but at the same time, he's been confirmed dead. I mean,
Right.
for so long. But apparently they were going to bring him back in Scream 3, I heard. I guess that's what they were going to
Yeah.
do. I don't know. I think there's a will. When there's a will, there's a way you could do it. But why
Right.
wait till the seventh film to bring this
To
guy
reveal that.
back from the first one who's supposedly been dead? I mean, anything's possible. What do you, I mean? My thoughts on it as I think, what's the point of that now? Because it's been so long. I think if you want to do one last bang to put an official end to it, you could do that.
Yeah. What
That
I
would
kind
work.
of thought is because like you said, it is weird. Like, why wait?
Yeah.
The only idea I could think of is like Stu's older now, so maybe he's not doing the killing. He like got he's getting like younger kids to do it for him to like get back at Sydney or something. So you
That
can
is
still have the
interesting.
reveal. You can have the reveal of him doing it, but he doesn't have to be killing. He can just be like the
The
orchestrator.
mastermind. Yeah, he could be the
Yeah,
mastermind. No, I'm
the
telling you,
guy
man.
in the chair.
If Universal, I think Universal's the one who does Screams now, right? Are they the ones that are doing it,
It's
or is it
either
Paramount? Or it's Paramount,
might
I
be
think.
Dimension. I don't remember.
I think Paramount's still doing them.
Oh, it
I
could
think they're
be.
doing the new ones. Well, whatever network is distributing, they got to call you up to be the right. I'm telling you, they got to call you up to make you the
I'd
writer.
love to do a Scream movie. I think that would be awesome.
Because you just gave a great twist there. That Stu is the mastermind. I haven't heard that theory before. That would be
Yeah,
interesting. I'd pay
there
to
have been
see
a
it.
couple people who've mentioned it before, but they could like fine tune the theory a bit because like you have to have Stu in there then if he's going to be a suspect. You can't just throw in because also I'm thinking of like new fans who haven't seen the old ones, which shame on you, they should see them. But like,
Exactly.
if you just are watching for Jenna Ortega and then Ghostface takes his mask off, it's just old Matthew Lillard.
Yeah.
Like they'd be so confused, like who's this guy?
Yeah.
So they have to think of those people too. So I don't know how they would juggle that, but it'd be interesting.
And who knows if she's going to be in it because now, like
Right.
you've heard, she's too big now, and but she did Beetlejuice too, so
Did she do
are,
Beetlejuice too?
yeah, she's doing Beetlejuice too. That's on the way
Oh,
too. So,
Jenna Ortega. Yeah, yeah.
but we don't know, is she going to be in Screams? All because of a Netflix series. You're too big to do a movie. I mean, it's like,
Right. I don't get that. Scream's
yeah,
like one of the biggest franchises ever. I don't know how you're bigger than Scream.
no, yeah. Some people need to tone down their ego a little bit. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because that's, if you want me to be honest with you, I mean, she's been working for a while. Like we know
Mhm.
that. Scream's what put her over the edge. That's what
Yeah.
really made her. Then she had the opportunity for Wednesday. Then she had the opportunity for Beetlejuice. So why would you
Right.
want to dish your own franchise that helped you get to the next point? And
Yeah,
how
I
long
don't
is the
get that.
shooting going to be? Like a month or so? You know?
Right. Oh, big whoop a month to do Scream 7.
Yeah. Make a couple million.
Yeah. Wow. Woe is me.
Yeah, give me a break. I'm too big for this, and it lets the fans down, for the people
Right.
that, because that's this generation's, and if you're looking at it from the screen perspective, Nev Campbell, that's the new kind of Nev Campbell
Right.
for the
You got to keep
franchise.
those characters going.
Yeah.
I do think though, like after the biggest problem I think I had with six is that they all lived in the end. Like the one guy got stabbed multiple times, and it's like he should be dead.
Yeah, I know. They stabbed him like 20 times and he's alive, really. That's another
Yeah,
thing, the believability factor of the screams. It's just the new one. I couldn't
yeah,
believe that. He's alive. He was stabbed like 100 times.
yeah. So if they're gonna do another one, they need to kill off a couple of these characters if you're gonna keep the suspense going.
That's what's gonna
So,
have to happen. We'll see what happens there, but besides that, man, I mean, you do all this horror stuff, but are you into like sports? Are you into anything else like music? What are some of your kind of your other interests?
well, I'm not crazy about sports. Like I'm not like a huge sports fan, although in Tampa Bay we have the Lightning, and so I'm
Yeah.
a big Lightning fan when they
Oh
come
boy,
around.
I'm a Ranger fan, so you know
Are
how I
you?
feel about the Lightning. You
Right.
always
Yeah,
beat
you
us.
know. Yeah, I mean that's like one of our best teams. It's weird though, like Tampa Bay sports in general has just gotten a lot bigger over the past couple of years. The Rays were in the World
The
Series, and
Buccaneers
you had
won
the
with Brady.
Bucks. Yeah, even the Rowdies, which is our local soccer team in St. Petersburg, is doing really good. So it's nice, like when the community comes together. It's just like meanwhile I'm over it, like watching Saw 10,
Yeah.
and like everyone's like, "Aren't you going to the Rays game tonight?" I'm like, "No,
No.
I
The Rays
probably
did well
should."
this year, though. The Ray, I mean,
Yeah,
it's interesting. I don't mind the Ray. I only wear the Yankee hat because it goes with everything. I'm a Mets fan,
sure.
but
Oh,
no,
okay.
yeah. So the Rays, yeah, they did pretty well
Yeah,
this year.
yeah, and we're getting the new stadium too.
I did
In
hear
St.
about that.
It looks nice from the like the concept art that I saw.
Yeah,
Because I've been to the old one numerous times, and it's a nice venue. But yeah, it's been around for a while. That could use an update, I think.
and
So
you're
it'd
gonna be
bring
getting
maybe
it
it'd bring some
soon.
tourism.
Yeah. It'll drag the population of, like you said, the tourism down there. Everything will go up. It's a new
Oh yeah,
stadium. People are gonna want to see it. How about music? Anything with you into music a little bit?
I like. See, I'm not like I like R&B. I don't know if I like hip hop necessarily.
Okay, so you're R&B. That's interesting. No,
So I
that's
like
it.
older. I like older R&B. Like I just recently went to the Earth, Wind and Fire and Lionel Richie concert
Okay. No,
that we
that's
had
interesting.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like older, like funk, like R&B, soul music. I'm into that. I don't know why necessarily. I grew up with it. Um, and I've gotten more into rock recently too, like like classic rock. You have like Alice Cooper. I saw him in concert. I'd love to see the Blue Oyster Cult is another favorite of mine. Um, yeah, but in terms of
Don't
like
fear the Reaper.
contemporary, yeah, Don't Fear the Reaper. Yeah, they have some spooky songs, so I like that element of it too. But yeah, like contemporary music, I couldn't say I like Gorillaz. I think they're a good band.
Okay, yeah.
Um, they had a new album recently. I don't know. It's a lot of the music, just in my opinion now, it sounds very similar. Like if you turn on the radio, I couldn't tell you one singer from the next. Like even like Taylor Swift, I can't really tell her voice from another female singer voice.
No, I get what you're saying because I get because I do hip hop. A lot of the hip hop
Oh
acts
yeah,
today sound the same. It's all
yeah.
sounding the same. People are going all crazy for this Drake album that just released now, and it's
Oh
just
yeah.
yeah, I'm just it's the same old stuff. I mean, I used to be a big Drake fan when he first came out, and then
Hmm.
used to kind of saw just how I think after a while you just lose that drive for creativity and you just kind of just go and wing it in the studio. I'm not really a
Yeah.
big fan of his newer stuff, but
Yeah.
the new
Well,
album I'm not
when it
impressed.
comes to like people like Drake, their name's so big now, or like Taylor Swift or whoever, like they don't even it doesn't even have to be good anymore.
No.
They just they just have to say this is a new Drake album and everyone eats it up.
Yeah, everyone's gonna buy it. Everyone's gonna be fooled, and
Right.
and I'm one of those fools because I did get the Drake album.
Yeah, I mean you have to I mean if that's your thing though is like music, so I get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I got it. I wasn't impressed. I did listen. I didn't get up at 6 a.m. when he released it. I got up,
Okay.
once I think did you text me yesterday? You texted me this morning, right?
Yeah, I texted you this morning, and then before that was like Monday, I think we spoke.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, damn, it was this morning when we rescheduled it for 40. Yeah, see how I'm
Yeah,
doing so much here? Yeah, my schedule's crazy too, so I get it. Moving it to four
yeah.
was perfect because it gave me more time to outline the show today and
Oh,
listen
that's
to the
good.
Drake album.
Yeah, you got to squeeze Drake in. That's
Yeah,
good.
I got to squeeze Drake in, so this show was better than the Drake album. In my
Well,
listening
that's good.
experience, I think so. My listening experience, yeah, I'm not that big into his music as
No,
much as I used to be. So
that's
yeah, but
unfortunate though.
yeah, it's good to know though that you have like other interests. The R&B thing is especially the old soul. That you got me there. That's I don't hear a
Yeah,
lot of people into that old school R like 70s. Yeah, it's going
yeah.
way
It's a
back.
weird. It was an interesting time for music too, because like the rock and like the disco like was a big clash then, and it was like pick a lane. Um, but yeah, I'm into music. Like right now, I listen to all my Halloween music, and then I'll transition into the Christmas playlist. But after that, then I'm kind of open to, experimenting with different music styles and stuff. I
Yeah,
don't like to be a one-trick pony when it comes to it. Even like I like a lot of older country too,
you're a country guy.
but I can't stand new country though. Like
I've heard,
everyone,
I've heard. I'm not a big country guy, but I've heard people who are country fans tell me that they're not into it either because it's almost like it's pop music. Is that
it
how you
really
feel?
is. Yeah, like a lot of people I like even people in my family love like Morgan Wallen or whoever. I'm like I just can't stand it. I call it Cracker Barrel bathroom music. Like you hear it overhead. Um but no, like older like Hank Williams or like just like classic country music. It's got the twang in it. It's got like the slide guitar. Like that's real country music. Yeah, basically you're right. It's like pop music now with someone who has kind of a country voice.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. I understand it. It's
And they're all
unfortunate.
about the same subjects too. It's like I got my girl in my truck. It's like, yeah, I know you have a nice truck. Okay, I gotcha.
But wouldn't people think that's how country music always was though? Or was it, I mean, you're more of the expert. Like I've heard like older like Willie Nelson music, stuff like that. I've heard
Yeah.
it. But would you say it
Well,
was kind of always about like if people were to label country as certain stereotypes, was it always about their truck and stuff like that?
you would think so, and I guess some of them are, but some of the country, like the older country music, is kind of sad. Like it borders on blues, where it's like a lot of it's about like they lost their love or they broke up or something, but it's like just like melancholic country. So it's strange, but I do like a lot of it.
Like that
It's
other guy
different.
that just came out and like had the world in shock. What was it Richmond north of Rich?
Richmond, yeah, my parents played that for me. It's actually a good song to me. Like I thought it was like a good beat and it had like a message to it and stuff. I can see why it's popular, but even then I'm like I don't know why it's that popular.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know if I'd listen to it while I'm driving.
No, no, exactly. It just sounds like something. It's almost as if it's an experiment when you look at it. It's just
Right.
it's just something that you would see on like a YouTube or a lesson because it has such
Right.
a message to it in a
Right.
way. So yeah, I don't think you'd be riding around. Am I going to be DJing it at the parties later? I just
Yeah,
don't think so. You
probably
know.
not.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying on that, but it is interesting to hear. What's your top Halloween songs? Because I think the best Halloween song is obviously Thriller. I think that's the top.
Thriller and like the Monster Mash.
Monster Mash, of course.
Like as those as soon as you hear them, you're like, oh, it's Halloween
Yeah,
and stuff. But I've found a lot of like older songs, like vintage Halloween music that I really like. Like I'm talking like old school. These are like from like the 40s and the 50s kind of um era of Halloween. Like you can even like if you go on YouTube and look up like vintage Halloween music for 1 hour, just plays like all these different old songs. But there's an element to them where because they're old and because the recording was not the best and like kind of crackly, it adds like a creepiness to the songs.
Mm,
So yeah,
I'll have to check that out. I mean,
yeah,
we have our own thing if you because I know you're not too big into hip hop where it's like horrorcore and you have rappers that are actually it's kind of like a horror subgenre of rap, which is
really.
interesting. Yeah, like artists like the Grave Diggers. I'm trying to think of
Ooh,
what Cool Keith and Dr. Octagon, his personas. Eminem kind of borderlines
yeah.
horrorcore. He's got some interesting
I'll have
songs.
to look up some of that too. I could always add a little hip hop to my Halloween album.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have you heard Will Smith's song Nightmare on My Street? Have you heard
Oh
that?
yeah,
Yeah, that's
I love that
classics.
song. I mean,
Yeah.
you have like this kind of dips between both that and like the R&B. You have like Rockwell, like Somebody's
Oh, somebody's
Watching Me.
watching me. I think Michael Jackson sings on that, right?
Yeah, Michael Jackson. A few years ago, there was an entire album that the Jackson
Scream.
estate did. Scream. Yeah, it was all his like spooky songs. I really love that album, just like in
Yeah,
its entirety.
yeah.
So
No,
yeah, that's a good album.
there's some great horror themed, for music. It definitely is. I mean, Rihanna. Everyone always goes to Disturbia and the Monster, and
Yeah.
you got some Blue Oyster Cult you mentioned there. So you're always gonna have those
Oh yeah,
big songs.
there's a lot of options and there's always new options. Or you can always just do like me too, and I listen to a lot of horror movie soundtracks.
Yeah,
The
I
theme
do that once in a
movies.
while. I do. I don't know why. I don't know. I like listening to the soundtracks because I can hear the when I'm listening to it, I see the movie. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just I've done that before. Like when I was in college, I used to do that sometimes during my studies. I would put on a horror movie soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although sometimes it is weird, like driving down the street listening to like the Psycho theme.
Okay.
Like just
Yeah,
like
because
that's
it's
an
like
odd
you're
thing.
actually marrying Crane in the car, right?
Yeah, in the car. Like I just stole $40,000. Like
Yeah.
it's like okay,
I don't know if I
I
would
see what
listen
we're
to that in the car because I feel like okay, this the people in the car next to me, they'd probably be like, "All right, yeah, this dude's weird. Why is he playing the
yeah.
freaking Michael
Yeah, they're
Myers
playing the
theme?"
Drake album. I'm playing the Psycho theme.
Yeah, exactly.
We are
I
not the
wouldn't judge
same.
you for it. I would be like,
See.
because I if I heard that like a passenger playing that, I would literally put my window down and be like, "Are you a fan of Psycho? Are you a fan
Yeah,
of
like
like?"
turn that up. Come on,
Yeah,
let's hear it.
I would do that, but I
Yeah.
feel like if I did it, people would be like, "Yo, what are you doing?"
Right. Well, you're DJ Mad Max. You can't do it. I can do it because I'm haunt former. I get away with it a little bit. Like even when I'll show up at like someone's house in like March and I'm wearing a Halloween shirt, they don't even raise a brow. Like that's just me.
That's who you are. That's your brand. Like I do have a
Right.
lot of graphic tees for because I get my t-shirts from Gutter Garbs. Have you heard of Gutter Garbs?
Yeah. I
Yeah, I
love
get a
gutter
lot of my
guards.
t-shirts from them. I've went through like this whole thing in the past year of like I need to be careful and wise with spending money. So I kind
Yeah.
of don't buy as much anymore as I used to, but I still have a lot of their shirts and I still check back on new releases. It has to really wow me or impress me for me to
Yeah.
buy something now, especially when it comes to t-shirts, because I'm big on just wear like a random color t-shirt and
Right. And just call it a day.
yeah, because it's just
Right.
we're I mean, outside of October, I'm not hot former like you. When am I gonna wear these, Michael Myers and
Right.
Jason
When you can
shirts?
wear a Michael Myers shirt. I mean, I have seen a lot of people though. I when I walk around at Walmart, I see people wearing horror shirts a lot.
Like all year round?
Yeah, like it'll
Wow.
be like a January and they have like a Jason shirt on. I'm like, that's my thing. What?
Yeah,
There are a lot of fans of these movies and of these franchises, and so that's nice to see that like they're keeping it going.
exactly. Have you thought about creating merch for your own show, the Haunt Former? Have you thought about creating Haunt Former merch?
I do have a couple of merch items online. It's nothing
Okay.
crazy. It's like got my logo on it or like the
Yeah.
name of a series. Like I have a series called Nightmare Fuel that's really popular. I
I
have
we
one with
talked
the
about that
logo.
last year where you do
Yeah.
scary stories, stuff like that.
Yeah, and like creepy weird stuff. I got another like one or two episodes coming back for October for that show. So,
Fire. Is there a way you can give us a little preview what those may be based about or anything if you want to?
well, I have like scary story stuff and I also have like weird stuff from around the internet. So in terms of the scary stories, I actually just did a narration of an Edgar Allan Poe
I saw
um
that Telltale Heart.
story. Telltale Heart, which is one of my favorites, and so I wanted to do that. And I also got a couple of like creepy, like I found like creepy rituals online
Mm.
that I thought were disturbing, and so I recorded myself kind of explaining the rituals. So that'll be coming out in like a week. And then for the creepy videos, um, one of the ones that really disturbed me is like this. It's like meat that moves after it's dead.
Ew, like the
Like
poltergeist, like with the
yeah,
meat on the
like
counter.
poltergeist, or like there's like videos of like it's like a fish fillet, and it just starts like swimming,
Wow,
like moving like it's swimming, and it's dead, and it just freaks me out.
that's
So
strange.
yeah, just like weird stuff I find. I'm like, oh, people will watch this because I
Yeah.
watched it. You know?
But what are your other plans? Because you got the haunt on the way here with your hayride. You're bringing Nightmare Fuel back. You're going to be doing the videos, I'm sure, reviews. You even reviewed Candy recently.
Oh
Eh,
yeah, I do the food reviews. A lot of people love the food reviews, which
Yeah, I
is
like
funny
that.
because I'm like, I'm the one that gets the enjoyment. I get to eat the good food. You just have to watch me eat it.
Yeah, and then we get hungry and go out and buy it.
Right, right. And there are some good picks this year for food. There's a couple of bad ones, but there are a lot of good ones.
Yeah, the Skittles
I need to
shakers are
review.
cool.
Yeah, those are fun. And Wendy's has a pumpkin frosty. Did you see that?
Oh, no, I did not.
That thing is amazing. I haven't done a review of it yet, but spoilers for the review. It's awesome.
I'm
That's
actually
like a five
allergic to
out of five.
pumpkin, so I can't have it, which is
Really?
crazy because Halloween's my favorite holiday and I love
Yeah, I
October,
was gonna say, how does
and I'm
that work?
allergic to pumpkin. Yeah.
I never heard of someone allergic to pumpkin. That's crazy. You can have like apples though. Apples
Yeah.
are fall.
Yep.
I like apple cider. There's
I
no
can
pumpkin in it.
No, I just can't have pumpkin.
Dang, that sucks.
What happened to the Halloween Whopper? Remember Burger King was doing the Halloween
Yeah.
Whoppers?
Well, I saw now, I think it's Aldi has black ketchup.
Ooh.
It's like straight black ketchup. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I don't I never needed that. I mean, I know it's cool to be spooky, but that's a little much. I couldn't imagine dipping my fry and it's straight black on the end and just eating it. It's a
Horrible.
little much.
It's weird. Yeah. Yeah, the Halloween Whopper, I remember that. Yeah. I would love to see it again. I would definitely love to
Yeah.
see that
I
happen,
love
but
novelty stuff. Good or bad doesn't really matter to me as long as it's like a fun novelty.
yeah, I agree. What else do you have on the way, Mac? Is that everything? Is that all that you have planned for this October? Anything else?
That's pretty much it. I got the videos, I got the book, I got the haunted house going. I try to, branch out and do enough because like this is the time of year that I'm known for, so I gotta kind of give back and like show like here's all the stuff I'm doing now. Um, I do want to do some like when the time comes, some like creepy Christmas stuff post Halloween after like my post Halloween depression ends.
Yeah, we,
I
we
want to do
talked about
some of
that
that.
last year.
Yeah. And then just I don't know, doing different kinds of videos. I've been more open to just doing weird stuff and seeing if it sticks.
Yeah.
Just trying it out, you know?
Go for it, man. Everything you've
Yeah.
done, it's been big this far, and it's gonna keep getting bigger and bigger. And how's everything going? Are you still in college for the mental health thing? Are you still doing
Yeah.
that?
Yeah,
How's that?
I'm taking mental health counseling classes at Liberty University, which is up in Virginia. It's going good so far. It's weird though, because like we'll learn about like a psychological disorder,
Mhm.
and I'm like typing a paper about like um schizophrenia or something, and then I
Okay.
forget like, oh, this is a paper for school, not for like spooky stuff. Because like the mental health and the Halloween like cross over.
They do.
So it's weird that that happens. But that goes to show too that like like horror has a tradition of like keeping with the times. So like when there was like a lot of communism scares in like the 50s, there were like alien invasion movies to reflect it. Now mental health is a big deal, so we have like mental health crisis movies today. So it always mirrors what's happening in real life. So I find that interesting in the sense of the psychological angle to horror.
Uh, it does. Horror does reflect the times, and that's why it's the best genre, in my opinion. And speaking of horror
Yeah.
being the best genre, Can we get a Oscar category for horror? That would be nice.
Oh yeah.
You ever notice that?
I
No one ever talks about that. Get horror to the Oscars. Like I get it, like horrors you consider like below people's standards, but if you think about it, horror it's a reflection of the times, and a lot of big
yeah.
actors get their start in the horror genre. Jamie Lee
Yeah.
Curtis, Johnny Depp, the biggest names in Hollywood,
Yeah, they
Jennifer
owe it
Aniston.
to it.
Yeah.
They owe it to horror. That was one of the, so I was saying about different ideas I want to do. One of my ideas that's been in the back of my mind is doing my own horror Oscars.
Oh yeah. No, you should do that.
Like and like awarding of the past year, like the best actress, the best actor, the best script, the best makeup,
Do
like
it.
all this stuff, but just for horror movies.
Yeah, that's what we need. Because I do want to. Because I always say that hip hop. Because I know people will say, "Oh, heavy metal and hip hop, or or heavy metal and horror are the closely linked." I always say hip hop and horror are more
Mm,
closely linked because it took hip hop forever to get its
yeah,
respect at the Grammys and all the
right.
stuff that they had to go through. And it's blatant. Hip hop calls out what's real in society. They're very blatant, and it's
Yeah,
it's just
they're in
real.
your face about it,
Yeah, and you're
like
in your
horror movies.
yeah, it's in your face. So when people are like, "Oh, heavy metal," it's like, yeah, but there's not really a message. I get it's like kind of creepy because I guess they're screaming, and it's like I
Right,
get it. Like it has like an aesthetic, but like as far as the messaging and crossing the border, yeah, hip hop and horror go
right,
hand in hand. And like I said, it took hip hop forever to get respect, and especially at the Grammys and award shows like that. And horror, we need to get them there. They need to be at the Oscars. And I'm not talking that you have to award like the new Leatherface. Like that shouldn't be a thing.
right.
We know that. That's
Right.
abysmal. It's
But there
terrible.
are some that deserve it. Like I thought I don't know if you saw the movie Pearl. There's like
Pearl, I did see parts of that. Yeah.
there's
It's like the
X and
X.
Pearl, and then this November next month will be Maxine.
Yeah.
I thought Pearl was a phenomenal movie, and I thought Mia Goth probably should have gotten an Oscar, at least a nomination, and no mention of it at all.
No,
And
because
it's
they
like,
don't do it. They do whatever's we're looked at as the bastard genre of
yeah, and it's
movies. Like you don't like I said, you don't have to give Texas Chainsaw the new one that if you
no,
take great horror films they're out there, like you're telling me Get Out couldn't have won an Oscar or
yeah.
I'm trying to think of another great one that's came out
Well, Get
recently.
Out got screenplay, but that was it. That's like a gimme. That's like
Yeah, that's like a gimme. It's still not the
right now, shut
same.
up for a while.
Yeah,
You got
exactly.
something. It's like
Yeah,
what?
exactly.
Like Nope. Like I don't know if you saw Nope about the aliens. That didn't even get anything either. Just weird. And you go back in history, it's like The Shining never got anything, or
Psycho,
Halloween. Yeah, Psycho. It's just like what?
The
Doesn't make
Exorcist.
sense. Yeah, and then they'll tell you the movie that actually won that year, and it's like never even heard of it.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like those movies didn't last.
no. Yeah,
They might be artistic or they might, be a well done movie, and I'm not knocking them, but it's like that's not what the people wanted.
exactly. And what's he gonna do? Add an extra 5 minutes to the award show by just putting a horror category there for the horror film, top horror film of the year? Like
Yeah,
it's stupid. I get it. I get that some horror movies it's cheap. I get it, and it's trashy.
yeah,
I get it. They're out there, but you have
yeah,
great ones that you mentioned there that deserve to have Oscars, and I'm sure there's going to be ones down the road. And it's just, I mean, when are we going to start acknowledging people's talent and hard work in classic films? I just
right. I don't understand. It's weird.
but do your own. I'm telling you, do your own thing that you have the idea from.
Yeah,
And
I want to. I know, like you mentioned, James A. Janice. I know Dead Meat does their own version of like an award show.
yeah, I
But yeah,
did see
I'd
that.
like to do something similar, with like awarding the best of for the horror movies of the year. I think that'd be a fun thing for me, and I think people are asking for it. So I don't know. Maybe it's
Do it.
time.
Yeah, it is time because I'm gonna be making the moves here. Well, not the moves, but I'll just be telling people like, whatever connections I make and just helping to get out there as much as I can. Let's make a movement here to get horror at the Oscars. It's about
Yeah,
time.
yeah. It's not fair, and yeah, it's just weird that it hasn't been.
Yeah. Yeah. Unbelievable.
I
It's
mean, just treat it like any other genre. Like for as much as they bash the bad horror movies, there are plenty of bad drama
Yeah,
movies.
action movies and stuff,
Yeah, an action
comedies. Give
movie.
me a break. Some of the comedies that you see today are horrible.
Oh gosh, talk about cheap.
Yeah.
Jeez. So it's like I get there's bad horror movies, but there's also great ones too. Let's honor the good work that's put into it.
Agreed, man. And I hope that comes soon. Mac, is there anything else that you want to plug in here? Anything else that we didn't talk about today?
I don't think so. I think I got everything off my chest. This was like free therapy.
Yeah, oh, I appreciate that, man.
No, and I was gonna say in seriousness, like my dad and I watch a lot of that Hot Ones show. You watch
Okay.
that with
Yeah.
when they eat the wings?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
And that guy is a great interviewer. That guy, he has good questions, but I think you're getting up there as like
You
one of the
think
best
so?
interviewers. I think so.
Oh, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
It means a lot.
Yeah.
We got to do this again, man. We got to do this next year. But I want to
Yeah,
link up.
this
I want to link up to go to the horror nights. I'd definitely be down for that to come down to
yeah, and then
Florida.
we'll talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah, yeah, we could do like a little review once I get if when I fly back down to Connecticut here.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we go to Halloween. Or I never been, so I want to see what it's because I did want to go a couple years ago when they had the Freddy versus Jay, all that stuff that when they were doing all the crazy houses. I wanted
Oh
to get
yeah.
down there and just
I missed a lot of those. I'm sad about that.
yeah. Even you see, you're local and you didn't even make some of those. Yeah,
Right.
it's tough.
See?
It's how
Yeah.
far is it from you? How far is the Universal from where you live?
Universal one is about 2 hours
Two
from where I
hours.
live. And then Hollow Scream, which is at Busch Gardens, is about an hour. And then we have some other local haunts too, that I try to hit up too. We have one called Screamageddon that's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. That's maybe like an hour away. I think that's in like Plant City. That's a good one. We have Sir Henry's Haunted Trail. Now we have ours, which is opening, so that'll be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, definitely I definitely got to get down there, man, next year.
Yeah, you
And
should.
yeah, I'm gonna let you know about all the details of when the release is gonna be for this year, especially with the promos and everything, because this year's been so chaotic with the horror shows because of the writers and actor strikes. Some of them can do
Right.
it, some of them can't do it. So it's
What
like,
people did you even manage to snag this year because of
oh,
all that?
you'll see. I mean, you'll see the ones that I'll announce them, but
Mm-hmm.
I kind of using some of the ones that I recorded last year that I recorded like a couple days after Halloween, or they didn't
You
make the
can
show, so
use
they
them.
had to reschedule. So you'll kind of see some of those. Thank God I had a couple of those in the stash
That's
because
good. Yeah,
it's been
in the back
so
pocket.
dry because people, if you're part of the union, you can't do
You can't do
appearances.
it.
Yeah, you can't do appearances apparently for promo and just anything. You can't be seen anywhere because you're supposed to be on strike.
Wow. I
Yeah,
didn't
so
realize it
that's
was that rigid.
yeah, that shot my shows down the drain this year. So
Yeah.
you came in with the assist here, man. Because I mean,
Yeah,
I was
see,
gonna
I'm no
ask you
union.
anyway, but I saw that you released some stuff on there, and hey, I congratulate you on the new anthology and everything that you have going
Thank
on. But
you.
I was gonna message you anyway, see if you wanted to come back on
Oh,
because
good.
I'm looking because I want to do this every year. We could do this, once a year and
Yeah,
keep
that's
it
fine with
building.
me.
Yeah, every year I want to do this, so I want to build with the creators, and that's basically what I'm gonna have to lean on because the actors and writers. I mean, maybe I can get some writers on. I think it's a little too late, probably, but yeah, my horror
Maybe.
shows this year, it felt it from the writers and actors strike. It's gonna People are gonna
Yeah.
be like, because I usually start from October 1st and do the whole month of horror people, like I've
Right.
been doing in the past. Now it's probably gonna be like the last 2 weeks. It's gonna be
Oof.
you and like three or four other people. That's
Other
probably about
people.
it.
Mm. Like I remember last year you had like Tony Todd and you had some cool
Yeah,
people.
yeah. I was
That's
able to
dope.
get a lot last year and all the previous years. This year, it's not that way.
Dry.
Yeah, it's dry because of the strike. So it's
Hmm. If I can think of anybody, sometimes there's writers. Like I know the writers of Creep Show, you can find them kind of creeping
okay.
around.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could
Because
always
season
do that.
4 is coming out, so they might be interested in talking now that the strike's over. I don't know. I don't know if it got pushed back or not. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
that's the
any
thing too.
promos
That it
about
get
it.
pushed back. 'Cause I know the writers may
Right.
not want to do press yet because they're just getting back and they're getting back in the writing. Then they'll do the press.
True.
It messed everything up for
It did.
October. Yeah, so
I mean, I get why they had to do it. It's
they had to
important,
do it. Yeah.
but it just sucks that it took that long for them to make a deal.
Yeah, exactly. And the actors are still on strike. So
Right.
it's
So they're
even though
still
the
going.
writers are back, the actors aren't. So
You have to find the non-union people.
yeah, exactly. You have to find the non-union or the people that are retired and just not even doing
Right.
it
Just not in
anymore.
the game anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty much. And I've done a lot of them already, so it's like, yeah, go revisit the ones I've done the previous years. It's
Well, I did.
unfortunate.
I did see there was a commercial or a trailer for a movie I saw called like Killer Hayride or something, and it had Kane Hodder and it had the I can't remember his name. He's from House of Corpses and he's also from Texas Chainsaw 2.
Oh, Bill
Bill
Mosley.
Mosley.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
him
Oh,
the
did
year.
you talk to him?
Yeah, I did him the year before last.
Really?
I did
Okay.
him. Yeah, I did
Because I
Kane
was gonna
Hodder
say
like
like
2 or 3 years ago. I
yeah,
did Kane.
like people like those guys who I don't know if they're in a union or anything, but they like
Yeah,
character actor type people might be interested. So
yeah. Those two. Yeah, I did those. Those were great guys right there.
yeah,
It's tough because once you do them all, you do a lot of them.
right,
You start to because I've done on basically everybody. Yeah, I've done a lot,
yeah,
so it's tough once because you got to get creative. Who's the next October? Who's this one? So
right.
I mean, we'll see, man. You are now the the new face, and you're the face here for this year. So
Hey,
we'll see
I'll,
what
I'll
happens.
I'll own it where I can. I'm not quite Tony Todd or Bill Mosley, but I'll do what I can.
But you're right up there for the creators, man. I told you, you and James A. Janice. I did James A. Janice when I do him 2021, I
Did you?
think.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
think you did mention
Yeah,
that.
because last year was 2022. Yeah. So I did you last year, and then James A. Janice was the year before. Yeah,
That's
he's
dope.
yeah, I did him then. Yeah, that's
He's a cool guy.
yeah, he definitely is. It's gonna be interesting, but I want to keep you on every year as a regular. I wanna
Sure,
yeah, so we can
I'm
do
always
this.
down the clown.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So let's plan this out. I'll send you all the details for the show, and then next year we could talk even in between the year of even planning to meet up at the
Yeah, that would be fun.
Halloween
That'd
Horror
be a lot of
Nights.
fun.
Yeah,
Sweet.
let's do it, man. Mac, plug yourself too for the social media follows and all that stuff, so people can follow you on Instagram, Twitter, all your social media platforms.
Sure. Instagram, I'm Mac Ralston, just all one word, MAKRALSTON. You also find me on Facebook if you use it anymore, probably not. YouTube.com/hauntformer. And then now for the books, it's Amazon.com/author/Mac Ralston. So boom, 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 boom.
There you have
I
it,
need
man.
to get a new Twitter account. I got rid of Twitter a while ago, but I mean X now, sorry.
Yeah, I
I
still
gotta get
call it
X.
Twitter. I haven't updated it because I know you go to the App Store and you update the app. It's still the Twitter icon. It's still Twitter. I haven't
Really?
updated it. Yeah, I
Oh,
refuse
okay.
to. I have no time for Elon Musk. I have no time for for him.
I'm waiting until it forces you to.
Yeah, I know it's probably going to
It'll
eventually.
get there.
Yeah, because I haven't updated it at all. It's still Twitter. I
Oh.
think it's ridiculous that he changed the name
Yeah,
and
that doesn't make any sense. That's like the branding right there.
yeah, that Twitter's been around for a while. Yeah, that's probably my favorite. I use Instagram more and I have a bigger following on Instagram, but
Yeah,
Twitter, I gets where I get all my news and just what's going on in the world. I get my scores
sure.
on there for sports games and stuff like that. Yeah, he hijacked that. Elon
Yeah,
Musk.
I don't know how it's gonna change in the long run, but we're gonna have to watch and see.
Yeah, I know. You might have to make a horror movie about it.
Yeah. X. Oh wait, that's taken.
Yeah, that's
I'll do
taken
Twitter,
already.
fine.
Yeah, so we'll have to just call it Musk.
There there you go.
Unbelievable. All right, Mac, I want to thank you again, man, for coming on the show. It was an honor. It was a pleasure as always. And let's keep building and we'll be in
Yeah,
touch. All right.
sure. Great
All
to
right,
see you,
Mac.
Max, as
Yep.
always.
Of course, for all things Halloween, you got to sign
All
out
right.
with your thing.
All right, for all things Halloween, this is Haunt Former.
Perfect, man. All right, Mac. Take care, man.
Good to see you, Mr. Mad Max.
Good to see you, man. Until the next time.
Yeah, peace.
Peace.